Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we're back to the room 3. So, it occurred to me that in the last chapter, we found outside in the main area a wax cylinder, and inside one of the chapters, we found a lathe. So, had that item been transferable to the lathe, it would have made a lot of logical sense that that would have led directly towards the lathe automatically engraving some kind of sound into the wax cylinder. So we now have a direct reason as to why the items are not being collected when you transfer into a different area. And here's the wax cylinder here, a blank wax cylinder. Uh, it also occurred to me just a few seconds ago that you've effectively, well, there's like a door there. It's just easy to miss completely. You've effectively painted yourself in a corner, even when you first made the first game, in the fact that you called it the room, whereas it would have made a lot more sense for them to have called it the well, anything else. I can't even really tell you what specifically would have been a good name for it, but I can pretty well tell you that they painted themselves into a corner when they called it the room, because that then locks you into a point of the entire game and the entire series of the game having to play and be played in rooms, or theoretically up until the start game, a single room, although really it hasn't been a single room. Right. So we have one more chapter after this, and I imagine probably some secret stuff that we'll find more of in this main area, and I wouldn't be surprised if there's another chapter on top of that. So they're giving us a book with that symbol that was the book. I think this is a symbol of the that we found in the second game, the symbol of this null creature or null thing. And it doesn't just open a door in this direction. Instead, it's going to be more of a puzzle, in which we're going to have to go to the library, which is over here, I think. We didn't go back and look and see if the clock moved, but it almost certainly did. So, you put the book here, and that's going to open the secret panel and not give us time to read anything. And then that's going to open an elevator by the looks of it. Up or down? Good question. Do we want to go up or down? Think you have no choice. I think you're going up. This is, I believe, called Gray Manor, where we are now. And so that opens up to an attic. And there's only one thing. I will say, compared to the Mist, which is where I would compare this game quite a lot to, there isn't a lot of crazy maneuverability contraptions, as it were. There's just some kind of basic things that you would come to expect. Elevators, stairs. I knew you would not disappoint me. You have proven yourself a worthy apprentice, and now you stand on the threshold of mankind's greatest day. I have brought you here simply to bear mute witness to my achievements. You have a role I have not brought you here simply to bear mute witness to my achievements. You have a simple role to play, one more pivotal than you will ever know. Know that the breakthrough we now make together, I could have never made without your vital contribution to Craftsman. It does feel like we are just blindly walking into a booby trap where the Craftsman is going to sacrifice my soul and trap me and use me as a power source or something against the null. And here we have another building. And see, this is the thing right here about it being called the room. It would make so much more sense if they expanded a little bit more and made this more of an open world walking around game. Honestly, if just The Witness had more puzzles and more varied puzzles like this game, and this game had as much open world walking around as The Witness did, you'd probably find the best combination of the two and find that to be a very good game, probably better than Myst when you compare that theoretical modern game to a lot of other less theoretical modern games. Alright, so now we've got a problem where this one has iterated and we don't know which ones are the pluses versus which ones are the minuses. So I can either do this and see, will this work? No, so that has to be there, which pretty much means that has to be there, which pretty much means that has to be there. It's a nice, consistent falling action. You get in a new room, you have a generator puzzle, you find the light switch, which isn't really much of a puzzle at all. Very reminiscent of the switches on Myst Island in the first game. And honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if there is a secret around those switches if you can come back and flip them. Although, that being said, it doesn't really feel like a lot of things are of that aspect. I have a screwdriver. And there's a part of the machine missing, which I think means we have to go find a different machine. Let's see. Safe looks like it's been here for decades. And then what's that? When you click here, you just walk through this section, so you don't have to worry about that. And board it up. What is this? Is it a button you're clicking on, or is it something you're supposed to slide? Is there anything secret about the screwdriver? Do we spin it and it change in any way? Alright, well, I see a button that doesn't seem to do anything. So we're gonna quickly come down to the idea, do we want to look at a hint, or do we think we can possibly pull this off? Yeah, it doesn't seem like we have the ability to do that, so it seems like we're gonna have to go back and find the dials, which, you know, that makes a lot of sense, honestly, because we did have this whole system of a bunch of those different dial machines, and each of the dial machines had a different kind of input, except for the first one, I believe, that had dials. Also, is there still something that a screwdriver would make sense at work? Yeah, I'm not sure. We're at that point still. You do run into a problem with puzzles like this in the fact that you pretty much, once you have a screwdriver, could theoretically try and use a screwdriver on everything. There's just a ton of them, a ton of things that would make sense. Alright, unscrew, pull that out, pull out the electrical component, and unless I was supposed to throw, see, we can look at the clock and see that the time has moved again. Unless I'm supposed to use a screwdriver on the clock, which I question. I feel like you may very well just have to play the game to a specific time. That there's just an Easter egg. If you played it maybe exactly at midnight, something would happen. But without even knowing the time, the odds of you looking at the clock at that time are pretty low. And so I'm just gonna run back to where we were. Now that we have the electronic device, there's a decent chance that we won't figure out what to do with the wax cylinder. But it seems like we are also keeping the screwdriver, at least for the moment. And there's only 5 spaces as far as items. I totally wish there was some voice acting or full motion video in this game, though. I really feel like that would have helped it a lot. For even knowing that, like, the first Myst game, those characters are just the creators of Myst, pretty much, and not celebrities and not real actors. I still feel like cheesy full motion video is a better way to go than just text. And honestly, for mobile games, I think you're fine to take up a little bit of space for some full motion videos, or just stream the videos directly through like a streaming service like YouTube. I'd be happy with that. I've definitely seen plenty of like free-to-play games that have 5-10 minute videos that they show you at the very beginning as they're downloading gigabytes upon gigabytes of actual game sound data and other kinds of game data. So I'm thinking this is an observatory. So we'll pull that up. And that'll open that. I don't think we're quite ready for that. Let's come over here and take a look. Okay. So what are we seeing? We're seeing something GON, then 2A, and then looks like there's probably more to the puzzle. Here we have what looks like a puzzle that we're gonna have to do something with. We're probably missing a piece for them. Let's right click, look around, and just make sure we're not missing something, because we did miss that one thing on the floor. There's a power cord also through the door, an actual power in this world, where some of the other stuff felt fairly old-fashioned. Right, well, that's something. And I guess we were trying to light up a bunch of things. And this says DRA 1. Now we have an etched glass disc that was projecting that. Yeah, there's definitely something over in this idea. How does this work? Etched glass disc. Which I guess is supposed to overlap. And let's see if we can get a better angle here. Dragon. Is that what it's supposed to spell? I mean, you can spell the word dragon, certainly. And I just don't know if this is supposed to be the map or what. The way I see it, either this number 1 is supposed to be here, which would be dragon, or it's supposed to be here. And there's just more to it. Also, is there a note somewhere? Because there kind of should be a note somewhere. So we've got symbols I don't recognize, and more symbols I don't recognize. And you can't go over here and look at that. And we have now broken lens, which we now need a working lens. Okay, so at least we know what we're looking for. There's no dragon that I see depicted on this piece. And I don't feel like there's anything you can do with that. I don't feel like there's anything you can do with that. And that just doesn't seem like you can get over here. And I feel like it's probably just a power distribution box, but they shouldn't have had it work that way. Yeah, it feels like the power is just going up into the ceiling and then coming back down to these lights. So let's take a hint. Glass discs in the capsule look like they can be rotated using the tabs on the edges. Yeah, we figured that out. Game. Are the other ones rotatable? Yes, they are. Okay. So, what's the part that's not getting rotated? Yeah, that's the real question is where? Oh, where? Yeah, there's a bunch of symbols there. And so I can spell dragon pretty much anywhere. So I can start here. I can spell dragon. And then I could go here. I can spell dragon. I can go here. I can spell dragon. I can go here. We'll just brute force it, I guess. And one assumes that this would just work. See, that's pretty much the end of being able to spell dragon for a while. Then next step kind of overlaps. Next step kind of overlaps. Next step kind of overlaps. And see, at that point, that's the end of being able to spell dragon also. So tell me more. There's a button on the rim of the capsule, perhaps it will shed some light on the situation. Which button? Here is a button. Ah. Well, that makes it doable. Way more doable. Draco the dragon. Yeah, I figured there was a third part to this. Alright. And had I just seen the button, that would have been a quick 5-minute puzzle at most, instead of being a 10-minute puzzle. Although you're running into this problem again where the image itself of the items in the inventory is so hard to see. They needed to probably just have black backgrounds for every item, or white backgrounds. White would be a little abrupt. Let's see. And it seems like now we're gonna have to start at the tail and decide which ones need to be clicked on. It's number 2, I think, and then 3 or 4, and then the very last one, and the one in between the last 2 swirls. See if we can figure that out. So this one, and then 3 or 4. And then this one. And then I think that one. Got it just through luck. Now we have a scrap of parchment, which has a bunch of cutouts / burned out symbols. Interesting. You can't easily spin it around. And we have a new telescope lens. And this might be fairly difficult because it's going to be maybe whatever we see is then going to have to be translated into 2 symbols. So this could go fairly badly. Alright. There's a button here. Is there a dial here? Yes, there's a dial. Is there a button here? Is there anything useful on this parchment? I don't think so. Alright, so we have a problem where we need to probably know the exact positions of these symbols. And I bet I don't know them. Alright. Let's go, before we ask for help, over here and see. Maybe this is supposed to work with this. Yeah, that was asking for too much, I guess. Look on the ground to make sure there's not any secret panel. Is there a solution to this? Not really. Let's ask for a hint. There are holes in the scrap of parchment I found. I wonder if it fits somewhere. Well, yeah. It probably does. Where? Doesn't fit over that light. Let's see if it fits over this, I guess. I wouldn't think it would. I kind of thought it would fit here, but it's not working. There's a plinth on the table covered in symbols. Yeah, I tried that. So where am I supposed to be putting this? Oh. That sucked. Okay. So. This is a nightmare scenario. I guess what I have to do is find a circle path that matches the circle and a square path that would match a square and so on. I think they probably have to all connect. So, is that possible? Is there a solution here where that makes sense? And why is it giving me a hint when I'm potentially doing the right thing? Yeah, this is the right path. So, we need a star that looks like, what symbol? Like a 3, and the moon that looks like a backward C on top of a regular C. Okay. Let's see if we can dial this in. Star that looks like a 3. Nope, one more. That sounds like something. Then backward C with a top C on front of it. So now when we look, do we actually have a chance of being able to see something? It kind of feels like there's maybe a pattern here now. I thought maybe we were going to get lucky and you just needed to line up with these 2 screw holes. But that's certainly asking too much. See if there's anything secret to be seen. Nope. This still definitely feels like you're cheating the system though. Again, this does not feel like this is supposed to be the solution. So I would argue we're probably still in a bad position and we'll just need to take another hint. Let's see. Those symbols on the telescope wheel look familiar. This should take another look at the scrap on the parchment of the plinth. Seriously? Did I not do it right? 3. Did I put the 3? Did I use the right 3 or did I use a wrong 3? Well, this 3 is backwards. For sure. Because it's upside down. But there's no other 3 to even consider. Unless it was supposed to be this, but that's not the symbol. Feels like there should be, oh, maybe that is a symbol. Should have locked something in when you did it right. Well, it obviously did lock something in at that point. Okay, I'm an idiot. And just align the image perfectly, I think, is the idea here. Which, right about there. Now we have a metal plate that looked a lot like a metal plate you were supposed to look at. But you can't go into this mode and then look at this object. So instead I need to find this metal plate's home, which I feel like it's probably somewhere on this wall. Unless it's supposed to be on the floor, and the floor is missing a metal plate. Or there's some other thing on the wall. Still can't get over in that area. Where does the metal plate go? Just give me a hint. It must attach to something. Thanks, that's so useful. Yeah, unless it's supposed to attach there. I guess that sort of makes sense. Okay. So it seems like one of the symbols that lines up is a triangle. And then at the other place, this moves really slowly, there's a symbol that's a moon. Moon and a triangle. We also have a star and a spiral. Star, spiral, moon, triangle. Okay. Let's see if we can get this to work. Let's see. Here's a triangle. And we already have the star symbol. And the other one was moon. Spiral. Seems like the room is getting brighter. Possibly. Let's see if this works. Could be star triangle. And then moon triangle. See if that works. Yes, it does. We're getting dangerously close though to them, instead of iterating, just simply having the same puzzle over and over again. I feel like there might be two ways to look at this image. It kind of limits your angles so you know in general whether or not you're doing it right or wrong. And we've gotta get just like perfect inside of that. I have now a large handle. And what do you do with a large handle? Let's double check, look at it. Looks like a big gear. Looks like it probably does not fit in there. Looks like it probably doesn't fit in there. Seems fairly ridiculous that we wouldn't have been able to find where this belongs before this point. It's such a large item. Unless I'm supposed to use this somewhere. Just give me a hint. Is there any other ironwork? I mean, well, this, I suppose. Maybe there's something really secret up here you were supposed to interact with, or give me another hint. The door to the outside has similar construction with an iron handle. Perhaps I can use this. Door to the outside? I didn't even know that existed. What does this say? FEV 12.9? I mean, like, no wonder I would have never found that. Revelations 12.9, perhaps. They really messed me up on that one. Now you shall see what this whole adventure has been in pursuit of. Have you experienced the moment so tantalizing? This is our prize, yours and mine. Your resistance to the null is remarkable. None but me could craft this key, and none but you could turn it. I am sure of that now. Everything is in readiness. The last few calculations will pose little difficulty for you. Once you open the gateway, I will join you. Let us stride through it together and become the greatest explorers in a dozen generations, the Craftsman. Yeah, I don't trust him anywhere as far as I can throw him. And seems like some kind of crystal structure. Seems like we don't have power to that yet. It really did not make any sense for them to hide an entire section of the area. Like, there's apparently trying to stretch for time, it feels like, and I don't see a real reason for that. Like, you are in a kind of unique position where, on one hand, playing the room 1 or playing the room 2 or playing the room 3 on their own is going to be probably a little short and probably a little expensive for what I suspect they're charging. On the other hand, if you could get a nice discount on like all the room games, including the 4th game and the VR game, if there's any real reason to play the VR game. I feel like there's an argument still to be made around that. Well, there was a symbol way back. Are they gonna make me run all the way back to the beginning of the game to try and match the symbols? I mean, it seems like it's 9 numbers, so you could probably fairly easily brute force this. But it also feels like that would be a waste of a lot of time. Smaller doorway has an intricate pattern engraved on it. Well, I kind of cheated there, but I'm not upset with that outcome by any means. We're gonna have to find a combination of star points that line up. Anno Dom 1788. And I got a large gear just by spinning that. Interesting. And here we have another gear, small gear, by doing that. And I suspect there might be some other things hidden around this table, but maybe not. Was this supposed to be a hint? Or is this supposed to be a whole nother puzzle? There's a part of track here, but I can't see what would run on it. Well, let's try a large gear. Let's try a small gear. Think we've got more stuff we need to do. But there's definitely a lot of stuff you can't click on. So I'm thinking, since I turned the power on, I probably need to go over here and through this. To the next room. What have we got? What does this say? I can't read it. We'll take a model sundial. It says generator room, electricians only. Good to know. So the model sundial probably goes in the other room, in the outside area. This section here is probably controlled. See, this gear doesn't look like that would fit. This gear doesn't look like it would fit. This doesn't look like a button. This doesn't look like a button. This doesn't seem to act like a lever. That doesn't seem to act like a lever. Let's come over here. We've got a whole bunch of things, but none of them seem to be interactable. And this bottom part doesn't seem to be interactable. So unless there's a trick of just dropping the gears down into them, I don't think we're ready to do that part. We have a whole map that I hope does not turn into a maze that we actually have to remember, because if it does, it's gonna kind of suck. Is there any possibility that there's something else in that area? I mean, I suppose there is, but it kind of feels like they intentionally put a bit of a divider mentally there. This one was what kind of hole? Need some kind of tool. Okay, I'm fairly certain this is supposed to go here. And then fairly certain that's supposed to do that. And then down here, that opens something else open. Interesting. Yeah, just trying to move through this as quickly as possible. A lot of stuff going on here. So that you can still remove it, but it only fits on squares. Okay. So the dial does this. We don't have anything that fits on triangles. That would move that. What are we trying to actually hit, though? Is the real question. Feels like there's probably another dial somewhere, because it just doesn't seem reasonable that we would be able to get this far with just 2 sliders. Yeah, this is probably the solution. We just need to. Panel covered in a complex array of gears appeared on a sundial. I should see what it does. Thanks. Thanks, game. I was not going to check that out. See, I figure what would happen here is this would activate this part, and I don't know. See, because if there was a way to spin this part, or way to move anything more, we can't get to spinning and then move it. So I can do this. I guess that might be the first part. Ah, and that gives us the triangle gear, which then lets us do the next part. So I almost missed the solution there and started looking around for something different. Now we have a large handle, which I'm not sure what the large handle is going to play a role in. Let's see. I mean, I can put all 3 gears now in the center. But how would that affect anything? I don't think it would. And I can put these 2 there. I don't think that would affect anything. We've got to figure out if this large handle somehow transforms into something else. Or do I need a large handle? Ah, yeah, that large handle goes over here. And that pulls out something else. An intricate orb. Was not expecting that. Let's zipper this down and pull it outward. So we now have a brass handle. We now have an orb with a socket. Do we have anything else of importance? I don't think so. And I guess I know so because they didn't even bother to leave that in our inventory. Right. So will this fit here? It needs some modifications. There we go. Is that the modification we needed? I think it was. Okay. Let's see. Would that anyway help? No. Would that in any way help? Maybe. If I could get it in the middle, which I can. I just had yet to figure that part out. You do have a problem here where you're just solving puzzles and you don't know what solving the puzzles actually will accomplish. And while that is true in a lot of myst games and puzzle games, you kind of want to know the general idea of what's going to happen. Like, I had no idea that this was going to unlock into a giant orrery, which is a like mechanical model of the universe. I mean the solar system. Although in this case, I'm not 100% sure. I trust that this is... how did that turn into that? So I guess we are still on Earth. At least that's the idea. Can we line up the bottom? Yep. Okay, so we line up the bottom, which then means that would be there. I right clicked on accident, which means like that should be there. This button on top. Now what are we supposed to do with the moon? Just align, I guess, to that circle. So it gives us a metal casting. This isn't a full scale orrery. It's only going to like past the planet past Earth, which might be an indicator of the date and time. Alright, so we have a symbol here that is an S with a slash through it. And we have this doorway where this will line up. We haven't done this in a while. For a second, I'd kind of completely forgotten about this. So we're in a place with kind of a floor puzzle. And we'll just open it all the way up. And we'll take the stone carving. Okay, cool. Cool. This is like the room with the electrical. But is there anything more to do or look at here? I don't think there is. Then we have stone carving that goes somewhere. If I was to guess, it probably goes in the other room. Unless there's something we're supposed to do over here. Which it does kind of seem like we are missing planets. We need to get all the planets spinning. Or 3 of the planets spinning. So maybe we can get Mercury going. Where's Mercury missing? Did that go all the way down? I guess it did. And I guess we probably want the sun to open up at some point. And I guess the indication very well might be that we now have a new lens cover. Interesting. Probably not for this lens. In the second game, we did switch between it. So we have star, S with a slash, moon, dots, bars, 2 bars, and then the male symbol. And I don't think we can do anything with the sun. Alright, so let's get out of here. And then head back to this room and deal with this again. Star, S with the slash in it. And I guess the lens cover probably wasn't going to let you see that this was the right combination. And then moon, the 2 bars. And then this lens cover needs to be set to moon, and it already is. So put that lens cover on and use it. Alright. Or Mercury. So basically seeing like pyramids on Mars. And that powered something that we can now follow all the way over here. Well, it looks like that door is ready to go, and this fell down and revealed a whole nother puzzle hidden under the floorboard. Is there a good way to see this? Yeah, so either that's a puzzle that doesn't matter, or that's a puzzle that really does matter. Right. Rotate. Press the button. Flip over. Well, let's see. Is there an indicator of what is top and what is bottom? I assume then we are supposed to put it. I don't see an indicator here, so I assume what we're supposed to do is something along of doing this, and we're going to have to get this out of the way. So we'll do this, and then we're going to have to do something to get this out of the way, which It's gonna drive us crazy because this is out of order. And then let's see. This is supposed to be over here. But this needs to be way over there. So again, this kind of needs to be this direction. Like that, like that, like that. There, in there. Okay. So if I put that here, I can then adjust. Although, did I need to adjust? I don't think I did. Now it's just a matter of getting the blue in the right place. And that there, that there, and that there. That was fairly simple. And we have some fairly high technology looking stuff here. I'm a little disappointed. We're going along again, but I'm a little disappointed, I have to say, that there is seemingly no interaction with a lot of this stuff. But apparently we're going to find a symbol and we're going to draw it. Question is, what symbol? I feel like we just need to spin and see if it gives us like some audio feedback. It seems like it really doesn't want you to go up or down too much. So it is doing you some favors. We must be getting closer. And it's actually blinking in the direction you're supposed to go, I just realized. You could turn this off. Okay, so we want to start here, go make a U shape, go up to the corner, make a U shape, and then make a backwards Z. See if we can do that with an annoying beeping sound. This is only like the second time we've done a puzzle like this, but this is also the second time I've done a puzzle like this where it's kind of glitched on me and not filled in. Alright, and it seems like we're gonna have to do it twice more. Oh man, this is really slow though. Like they're definitely trying to make it feel weighty, but boy is this slow. I lucked out there. Okay, start in the center, make a L, go up, and then make a triangle. See if we can do that. Start that in the center, make an L, go down, make a triangle. Did I do that right? I don't think I did. No, I didn't. And honestly, I don't think there actually is a proper order you have to do this. Just think you have to get all the lines in alignment. Man, you're definitely adding at least 2 minutes to the game by this giant sphere. Which way did it be? Downward and to the left. So we'll try and follow that as much as possible. Start in the center, go up left, then down, then make a flat D. This, and then this, and that. Now we have footage of the moon, or Mars, and pyramids. I don't know if I agree with anything here. They're making like a dungeon crawler game now, or you're controlling some kind of robot. Yeah, I felt like the second game went kind of crazy in its story, and now it feels like we are potentially once again going fairly crazy with the story as far as pyramids on Mars. So we have a Omega sign we just lit up by rolling our probe over it. And okay. Great. So I guess the idea is that there are 2 more switches to find. They're really stretching it now. Just wasting the player's time. Like, I don't think you needed this extra stuff. See, that's, I assume, the null that destroyed this society as much as it is potentially going to destroy human society. And honestly, if I was to guess, I suspect we are. Yeah, I think I missed the other one. So I think I'm gonna have to take a long journey to get back. And that's not really my fault because they split it in a 3-way split as far as the path went. So had I gone right instead of left, I still would have ended up doubling back. Like nothing would have prevented that. Like, it's crazy that they would violate what they've been doing up until this point, in the sense that every puzzle up until this point has been fairly quick and easy. Once you had it done, you had it done. There was not a ton of inputs needed to activate anything or solve any puzzles. If anything, the puzzles have been downright too easy. And then they're going to throw this long, just control a drone section of gameplay right at the end. And it's not like this chapter was particularly short. We're already an hour and 15 minutes into it, and we know that there's probably either some red herrings or some other puzzles that needed to be investigated as far as that. And see, one assumes that what we just saw was real, and that wasn't just a video game. Well, I guess at this point this was the solution to the maze if you needed it. It's all glowing now. Interesting. Well, I have a hard time believing that there's much more to this chapter. But we do run into a potential possibility where the next game, the next recording is going to be fairly short if it is just a wrap-up section, but I don't think it is. If it is a wrap-up section, then I don't think they would have a reason to give us a checkpoint. Alright, we've got a lot going on here. Let's see. This up here, so we can spin some other things. That down there, so we can spin some other things. How does this work? Why can I not spin the bottom part? Why can I only spin the middle part? Yeah, this is like the lighthouse where we do need to spin things, but we need to spin things like exactly right. I'm not sure where exactly right is right. Like, I need to look ahead, and I'm kind of assuming that I need this middle section to be lined up with a totally different middle section. Okay. So, this down, then that, and that up, then this down, then that, then that way. Got it? Except, needed to pull this up and then rotate all three of them so we can slide that down. And I'm kind of glad that was all there was to that puzzle, and then they just kicked us out of there. So we can just click this, and the final orrery, everything will line up, which the celestial bodies almost never line up. It's just mathematically unlikely. And then we get flashes and get teleported back to where we were. The stars themselves conspired to block your path through the observatory, but perseverance is admirable. Does each step move you closer to freedom or deeper within a tangled maze? Yeah. Well, here's what we know. When I click continue, it's almost certainly not going to just jump me into a cutscene and have me place the triangle on the platform in the middle of the place. I think that there probably is at least one more chapter to this game, if not potentially 3 or 4 more chapters. We've done fairly good at this point, where this is a 5-hour game. Assuming one did not pay $20 for this game, which I don't know what the price actually is, but assuming I only spent about $5 for it, it doesn't seem too bad. And compared to most mobile games, it seems actually quite good. Anyways, that's going to be it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want a friend or follow me on any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below in the description box. And if you want to support me further, there's a link to Patreon, or you can friend me on Steam and gift me a game off my wishlist. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.